Hey everyone! So, a few days ago, on Saturday now, and it's Tuesday, Arwen managed to get her foot stuck in a willow tunnel. And of course, willow tunnels are designed for small pets. They are marketed as completely safe. It's sort of a 1 in a million type deal that a hamster gets hurt. She happened to be one of the 1 in a million. Anyway, her foot got stuck in one of the little cracks, and she was yanking it out. She did a fair bit of damage to that foot, but in a panic, she also chewed the toes of another foot, of her other back foot. So when we found her, there was blood pretty much everywhere. I can insert pictures of what the tunnel looked like when we got home. I don't have many pictures of her feet because this whole process has been about trying to make sure she doesn't get too stressed out. That's why it has also been a couple days. Her feet have mostly healed now. She's still on a fair bit of medication. We rushed her to the emergency vet at about 1 in the morning when we found her, and thankfully the foot that got stuck wasn't broken. There's just soft tissue damage. The swelling has gone down now, so hopefully everything will be good as new by the time she's done with her medicine. And then the other foot that she chewed the toes of, it looked worse when it was covered in blood. Thankfully, all she did was she chewed the tip off of one of her toes, and not really the tip of the other ones, but enough to make them bleed. So they're still there in the nail, but she definitely, sort of like when you cut your pet's nails too short, she had basically quicked herself on 3 nails and then chewed the whole tip off on the 4th nail. Now, thankfully, she was really good in the vet. She didn't bite. She was very sweet. She even let them check her heartbeat, which was great. So that was great. And when we came home, thankfully, she's also been really good with her meds. So I'm going to show you that, but I'm also going to show you her safety bin. She is in a safety bin so that I can make sure that the toes that had the open wounds don't get infected. She's also on antibiotics to prevent that, but just in case. This bin is significantly smaller than what you would want to give your hamster for a permanent living quarters. There's also no wheel in here, and there's nothing she can climb too high on. I'll put the dimensions for the bin on the screen. This is the size I like for a safety bin, so we'll just hop right into it. Alright, so here is Arwen's little safety bin. As you can see, there's very minimal amounts of things in here, but there are a lot of chew items, and that is because while she's bored, she's going to want to chew a whole bunch of things. So, I'll just start with, there's a ceramic mug, nice smooth surfaces for her feet. It's the only item in her cage that she can actually get height with. So she does climb on top of it, even though she's not supposed to, and she does try and escape with it, but it's nice and smooth, and it's not too high for her. Then we just have one of those chew tunnels. I typically don't like those too much, but as this had all happened very early in the morning, we were sort of limited on what we could buy for her, and she doesn't chew it too much. She just mostly uses it as a hide, which is great. She has her coconut hide that is laying nice and flat on the ground, And there's a hamburger chew, a hot dog chew, a salad bowl chew. There's lots of chews in here. There's a big willow chew that she has been trying to get the walnut out of. She is bedded on paper towels and just a little bit of bedding. She uses this area mostly as a potty spot, which is great. I have her on paper towels to monitor her feet and, again, to limit the risk of infection, which it's kind of funny because now that she's on paper towels, she's practically potty trained, which is interesting. We just have a toilet paper tube that's cut in half and sort of spread out so that she can go under it because she's a big lady. And then we've got this bowl that just has some bedding in it under the water bottle to keep it from soaking the paper towels when she drinks. It doesn't leak until she starts drinking from it, and then it leaks for about a minute and then it stops. And then she has her food bowl and, of course, her medium-sized igloo. So it's pretty bare. There really isn't much in there. There were a couple more chews in there when I originally set it up. As you can see, she's completely mobile now. She was not completely mobile when it happened. That's why I decided to go ahead and film now. I wanted to show you guys her being better. And, oh, you can see how she's holding her foot there. It's still a bit tender. She pulls it up to her body sometimes when it hurts a bit. The medicine I just gave her is an antibiotic to keep the foot that she chewed from getting infected. But every 24 hours she gets Medicam, which is a painkiller. She's only on both of these meds for about a week because, fortunately, though the injuries looked very, very serious at the time, they are less serious than we thought they were, which is great. Even though she's feeling better, I am going to keep her in her safety bin until the antibiotics are finished because I really do not want to risk infection. She still cleans the foot that she chewed, and occasionally I will see tiny little blood spots from where she has cleaned it a little too thoroughly. So I want to make sure that everything stays nice and clean for her, which is harder to do on a big cage with lots of bedding. So that's about it. While I have you guys, I wanted to touch on Goyle. As some of you guys know, Goyle is almost 3 years old. He could be 3 already. We're not really sure, but we've had him for 2.5 years, and he wasn't a baby when we got him. He has a little tumor or cyst on his chest. We're not really sure what it is. It doesn't seem to impact his personality any, but it has impacted his mobility. And with him being so old, he has slowed down considerably, and I'm a bit worried that he's going to hurt himself in the size cage that he has now with the amount of climbing items he has now. So when Arwen is done with this bin, I am going to sanitize it completely, and it will be Goyle's new home. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I am a bit concerned, and he sleeps about 22 hours of the day now. He's, you know, I wouldn't say he's on his last legs because he is a trooper, but he is very old, and I just don't want to risk him damaging the cyst or tumor on his chest. I don't want him hurting himself on accident. Unfortunately, due to his age, he is too old to go into the vet, to be sedated, and to be biopsied. At this point, it would be too risky to even travel with him at this point because of the amount of stress that causes them. I have spoken to the vet multiple times on the phone, and she believes that it is a cyst and not a tumor, because he has been acting completely fine. He isn't sick, he's just acting old, and it hasn't limited his mobility or anything like that until recently because of the size of it and the size of him. So when he goes into the safety bin, I will show you guys sort of how I've set that up, because it will look different for him. One, because he's a dwarf, but also because it'll be a sort of, it won't be as temporary as hers. So with that being said, I think I've covered everything. Arwen's doing great. Goyle is okay. He's, you know, he's a little old man. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys all have a great day. And until next time, bye!